Hi, fourth grade, and welcome back to Math with Mr. G. Today we're here for week 3, day 2. We're going to be continuing our work with multiplicative comparisons and understanding multiplication equations. Now, as I said at the end of yesterday's video, this is the cornerstone for all multiplication we do after this. And I actually want to take a minute and I want to go over, using multiplicative comparison, one of our zero rules. So you might have heard me earlier in one of the, I think last week's videos, talk about a zero rule when multiplying times 10. We're going to be looking at another zero rule when we multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers in multiplicative comparisons. So this is going to help us formulate our understanding for 2 by 2 rules, as well as how multiplication of a larger number works. As we move forward, for instance, tomorrow's video, we're going to be working on a similar but slightly different approach. So let's get started. If there are 40 seats per row, so we're thinking, for instance, let's just draw a picture here to make this a little easier for us to understand. So let's say we're in a stadium or a theater and this is what we have, okay? So we have, of course, lots of rows where people sit, like such. Now I'm not going to draw the 90 rows that we need, but just to help us get an idea of what this could look like. If I were to draw those 90 rows, we'd be here for a while. But let's say for each one of these, there is 40 seats in each one of these rows, and I have 90 of them. So I'm actually going to take 40, and I'm going to multiply it times 90. So I've built my multiplicative comparison here, okay? In the sense of an equation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a zero rule that makes things very easy. Of course, when you guys get more practice to this, we're going to put 90 over the top of 40 vertically to multiply them using those rules, but we're not quite ready for that. Instead, I'm going to show you guys a really neat trick today on how to do two-digit by two-digit multiplication when there's zeros, especially 2 zeros here, in a very quick and easy way. So it's as simple as just first multiplying the digits that have numbers. So you can see here that I have a 4 and a 9, and they're both in the tens place. One's not in the hundreds place. They're both in the tens place. Now I'm going to multiply 4 times 9. I know that 4 times 9 is 36. But that's not our answer. 40 times 90 is most certainly not 36. However, notice that I have, you can underline them in red here, I have 1, 2 zeros. Just like we were multiplying times 10 earlier, in the previous episodes of this, we brought those zeros down. We're going to do the same thing here, okay? So we're going to put one of those zeros here, and that other zero here. 1, 2, 3, comma. So 40 times 90, well, what does that equal? Very easily, or very clearly rather, it equals 3,600. Let's make this 6 a little neater. So not convinced by that yet? Well, let's look at a couple more examples. So let's zoom in here so we have some more room to work. So one ticket to the symphony, so symphony is a type of concert and orchestra, for instance, and one ticket, just one, costs $50. Okay, so I have $50. And it's asking how much money is collected, so taken in by the symphony or the theater that runs the symphony, if 80 tickets are sold. So I'm going to take $50 and I'm going to multiply times 80. So remember, there's 80 of these tickets, and each ticket is $50. Same trick as before. I'm going to take my tens place here and multiply each other by them. So 5 times 8, I know it'll be 40. Now the real question here for the next step is how many zeros do we have? We have 1, 2 zeros. So if you've probably already guessed it, I am in fact bringing down these zeros. So how much money? $4,000. That's our answer. It's as simple as just taking those and multiplying them and then doing the zero trick. Let's look at another example, and then I'm going to show you guys what you need to do if you were to multiply a zero trick with some larger digits. Okay, so every night Eloise reads 40 pages. So every single night it's 40 pages. How many total pages does she read at night during 30 days of November? So each one of those nights in November she's reading 40 pages. And if there's 30 days, therefore there's 30 nights. So 40 times 30 is what? Let's make that 0 just a little prettier. It's driving me nuts. Great. 4 times 3 is 12. How many zeros do we have? Well, we have 1, 2 zeros, so I must have 1, 2 zeros here at the bottom. Zeros are not liking me today. Just like that. So 1,200 pages. Let's come down over here to the right, and let's do a model example for one that's maybe a little trickier. Okay, so let's take 110 and let's multiply it times 30. Okay. Now you'll notice that we were multiplying with a tens place before, right? We're going to do the same thing this time, but we're actually going to take this 11 and this 3, and we can do some mental math, or we can put them vertically. Let's do it vertically as just an example. And I know we haven't covered this yet, but this will be a good, introduction moment for it. With some very simple digits. I'm going to take 3 and multiply it times 1 here is 1. 3 I'm going to multiply times the 1 here in the tens place on this equation as, going too fast. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times this 1 is 3. Getting ahead of myself. So we brought this 11 and this 3 together, and I've got 33. Now, how many zeros do I have? I've got 1, 2 zeros. So I'm bringing those down, and I have 1, 2 zeros. So 3,300. That's really the best case scenario, or best case example, or best case process or strategy even that you would use when you're multiplying with the zero trick this way. Until we start delving or diving into the 2x2 or 3x2 or the more advanced math properties, you can at least get a good solid foundation in how this zero trick rules, and you can see how these zeros can move around like that in a very simple way to make your mental math game a lot stronger. As always, if you followed me for this long, we're going to go over an example from the assessment. So I have a multiplicative comparison here. 54 is, and if you remember, is from last video, is a clue word for equal. So 54 equals 6 times as many as blank. So what do I multiply 6 by to get 54? Well, our choices are 9, 6, 3, and 10. Let's go through examples. 6 times 10 is 60. Not it. 6 times 3 is 18. Not it. 6 times 6 is 36. Also not it. So it leaves me with 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is in fact 54. So that is my answer. If you get stuck in anything with these zero tricks, because this is a brand new thing for you guys, please just rewatch this video. And I look forward to seeing your work, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.